Remember when I had a wheel determine the fate of the characters in the first Danganronpa game? Well, guess what? We're gonna do it again with Danganronpa 2 Goodbye Despair. Time for the wheel to once again determine their fates. ARB starts now. Hey guys, this is SonicRules831 and welcome back to another video where we take the second game of Danganronpa and we're going to let the wheel determine their fate. Just like the first game, I'm going to do my best to explain why this death occurred, add some lore to it and all that good stuff. I've actually already written down what I had spun, so all I gotta do now is show you guys. So, let's start off with the protagonist. Here's what I got.
Ibuki Miyota! Put it together and what do you get? Ibuki Miyota!
We got Ibuki Miyota. How ironic, because she has become one of my top favorites in all of Danganronpa. Not to mention, her last name in Hanji actually consists of the 4 girls I know and love from K-On! So, I actually learned that Ibuki Miyota is actually an entire K-On! Reference. She actually shares the same birthday as Yui Hirasawa, November 27th. That, and she's just awesome overall.
Well, it appears we have a simp on our hands.
Monokuma, how the hell did you even get on my computer?
Come on, you've played both games. I can be anywhere at any time. So you better behave yourself, or you're going to have a bad time.
Okay, Sans copycat, I'm trying to make a video here. Can you please leave?
Alright, have fun with your video!
Okay, I don't know how he got here, but now I'm paranoid. Excuse me. Anyway, Ibuki would be a fun protagonist, and it would be interesting to get to know more of her backstory of her light music club days and how she got to where she got to. As for the supporting character...
Hey!
What do you know? It's just like Kyoko in the first game when I did this. We landed on Chiaki Nanami, the gamer girl, the ultimate gamer, the good gamer girl, and one that doesn't sell their fucking bathwater. Okay, anyway, let's go ahead and see what I got for the rest of Danganronpa 2. Who dies? Who survives?
Thrills, chills, kills!
Shut the fuck! For Chapter 1, the victim ends up being Teruteru Hanamura, who was the killer in Chapter 1 in the real game. But who killed Teruteru? Well, this is kind of weird. We landed on the ultimate princess, Sonia Nevermind. It was actually a Nirvana reference. This one is really ironic because in the first chapter of the game, when everyone is meeting everyone, Teruteru was talking to Sonia about her sucking his loins?
Oh! Ew! Dude! What the fuck?
Yeah, Teruteru has some issues that we know of, and I guess in this scenario, perhaps Sonia was pushed to the edge, and she takes out Teruteru. She probably would end up feeling awful and show remorse for what she did. The princess of the Novoselic Kingdom would accept what her fate was, which I'm sure would break Kazuichi's heart, since he is a massive simp for Sonia. I mean, come on. He would probably try to defend her in any way possible, but of course would fail in the process. And bye-bye Sonia, who of course was a survivor in the actual game itself. So for Chapter 2, the one that probably annoyed me the most, Nagito Komaeda, ended up being the victim. As for his killer, Peko Pekoyama. That's right, the same person who killed Mahiro in the actual game itself. Peko is the killer here. How interesting. Peko was the killer in Chapter 2 of the actual game, but it's crazier that she kills Nagito, the ultimate lucky student. I would think something had to have gone down between Nagito and Fuyuhiko in Chapter 2 that led to Peko killing Nagito. And, well, it was revealed that she grew up with Fuyuhiko and basically acts like a bodyguard to him essentially. So because she felt like an object and not a human like she stated, she decided to protect Fuyuhiko by eliminating Nagito. Then, at the end of Chapter 2, which was really tough for sure, it got me, and I'm sure it'll be the same exact case here. Okay, now let's move on to Chapter 3. This one gets even more wilder. So, this is the chapter where we have 2 victims instead of 1. In this case, Gundam Tanaka is the first victim, and Nekomaru Nidai was taken out as well. And who did I land for the killer? Kind of a bummer here, but it was Hajime Hinata. Okay, so how do I come up with a story for this one? Hajime Hinata killed a couple people, and sadly, 1 chapter after Nagito was game-ended by Peko. So maybe the fact that in the end of the actual game itself, it was revealed that he was actually Izuru Kamakura, known as the Ultimate Hope. And as I said, that was revealed at the end of the game. Maybe that gets revealed during Chapter 3, but like after the trial, or maybe at the very end, where Hajime can no longer hold back Izuru in a way, and practically Izuru was the one who killed Gundam and Nekomaru, and Hajime may not have known because he's been trying to fight this back, whatever else. And you know what? I'm going to say it is possible that he did this and never remembered it, because Izuru could have taken over Hajime because of the despair disease that was let out during this chapter that totally did not predict a global pandemic or anything like that, if that makes sense. At least I think it does. Like, it was Izuru that killed Gundam and Nekomaru because Hajime got infected by the despair disease, which, in my opinion, would make Chapter 3 absolutely off the walls insane.
It's me, Austin! Oh, son of a bitch!
Moving on to Chapter 4, Hyoko Sainoji was our victim, and the killer was the ultimate imposter, or as he was previously known as Byakuya Togami, which of course I called fake Byakuya. This one's pretty interesting. What we originally thought was Byakuya, but he fell off. It actually turns out that he wasn't Byakuya, he was just the ultimate imposter. Perhaps everyone dying and killing each other made the ultimate imposter decide to take matters into his own hands by maybe sacrificing someone like Hyoko, which then would later be himself if they caught him as the Blackened. And perhaps that the ultimate imposter would have hoped that with doing this, the killings would stop and the survivors would figure out a way off the island and get out of this nightmare that they are in. Moving on to Chapter 5, our victim was Kazuichi Soda, who was a survivor in the actual game itself. And the killer was Mahiru Koizumi. Oh, poor Kazuichi. He gets killed by Mahiru. So we know that Mahiru and Hyoko developed a great friendship that probably grows a bit more here, since both characters lasted a little bit longer here than in the actual game. Perhaps Mahiru could have felt really heartbroken, decided to take out Kazuichi, and eventually she'd be found out to be the Blackened so that she couldn't bear with the pain anymore of losing a friend that she had grown close to. Okay, so that leaves us with our survivors. Ibuki Miyota, Chiaki Nanami, Akane Owari, Mikan Sumiki, and Fuyuhiko Kuzuiru. Wait, what the hell? This is just like the first time I did this. I had four female characters and 1 male character survive.
Huh?
Well, ain't that something. Okay, so as for the mastermind, you know what? I'm a sucker for the lore. Why don't we do a little bit of continuity here? So you remember how Yasuhiro Hagakure was actually the mastermind from the first edition of this, when when the wheel determined the fate of the characters from the first Danganronpa? Why don't we pick up where we left off from there? Seriously, could you imagine from my first edition of this, during the final trial, that Celeste, Kyoko, and maybe Chihiro show up during the class trial? That would be rather interesting, and also it would be comical to hear an interaction between Celeste and Ibuki. I just think that would be really hilarious, despite everything that's going on, because you got the mysterious goth girl who loves to gamble and hides her true identity and what she actually is, and then you got the rock queen who is very outspoken and funny and everything else. Maybe you could have, at the very tail end of the game, maybe Celeste decides to finally reveal her true self at the end of the game, when she's talking to, in this case, I think would be Kyoko and Chihiro. See, look at this. I'm developing my own Danganronpa alternate history here, because I like doing alternate history. For those of you that, are not familiar with my NASCAR content, I do a couple of alternate history stuff with a game called NASCAR Racing 2003 season. One of them called Sunday Night Lights, where I am totally rewriting NASCAR history from 1981 onward. I just finished 1992. And it's a scenario where NASCAR is completely different. NASCAR becomes and stays a very popular sport. A lot of drivers that lost their lives early stay alive. What would have happened if they hadn't died so soon? And I'm also working on another timeline called A Divided Ending, which is based off of Griff Dog's What If Dale Earnhardt Was Still Alive, when it had a little bit of a different ending that leads to a split in stock car racing, very much similar to kart and IndyCar. Okay, with that spiel out of the way, I will say Divided Ending, the next video for that is being worked on. 2017 is done. I just need to work on 2018 for that. Besides that, if you like this video, I had fun doing this. If you like this video, feel free to hit like, hit subscribe. I appreciate your support as always. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And I guess whenever I get to the third game, or whatever the next game is, we'll probably do it again. But until next time, I'm Sonicals831, and I will see you in the next video.